Because I have one of these no around Antillian grandmas. Like, I knew if she caught us reading this poetry, that we would definitely be assassinated by one of her. Every time I close that poetry book, I end up feeling like I just sold my soul to the devil himself.
No, Big Jor!
Hey yo, what's up guys? I want to give a shout out to my homies Abhishek, Taiveli and Govinder. During my hard times in Lisbon, I went broke actually, and I met these dudes. They took me on a tour of their office space and just taught me about like good habits, negative habits that you should stop. And now like life is better, everything is moving smoothly, and just love to them, you know what I mean? So hey, let's go back to the animation, let's get it. Choo!
This is the story of the first time I got caught reading poetry. And by poetry I mean watching, but we're gonna keep it PG for the kids, you know. I swear, ever since poetry got into my life, it has been a never-ending battle to quit this negative habit. And even though I know how bad it is on your energy levels, social relationships. Why are you coughing in my video? Guy Flo, why are you coughing? He's going bro. And actually, I can even mention how positive it is because every time I close that poetry book, I end up feeling like I just sold my soul to the devil himself. So this is a story of how I first came into contact with poetry and also how I got caught reading poetry actually. It was back when I was still in school, going to elementary school. I think it was about 6 or 7 or something. Anyway, after school, I always used to go stay with my grandma, who, God bless her soul, passed away, R.I.P. grandma, a while back. My grandma used to look after me and my cousin, who also passed away, before our parents would come and pick us up after work. And you know how kids are, always digging around trying to find new stuff. Oh, and by the way, there was also this uncle, also deceased. Damn. This uncle of mine who also stayed at my grandma's place and kind of looked after us. Honestly, it was mostly my grandma looking after us. To me, this uncle was like this third older cousin that comes and goes as he pleases. The one thing I remember about him was that he used to be stationed in front of the TV and would let us do our own thing. Scratch that. He always used to hog the TV remote, like we could not watch TV at all. We always used to wait till he leaves so we can run and go watch TV. But skip that. Let's get back to the story of how I first made contact with the poetry demons. So there was this one day that me and my cousin were playing in the backyard and we hear our uncle's car drive away, which was the signal that me and my cousin could go and watch TV. I turn to my cousin and I say, yo, Unc just slept so we can go watch TV. He turns to me and says, not today, bro. I got something better planned. And he makes this suspicious face. I was like, what is it, bro? He's like, don't worry, bro. It's something fun. Don't worry. It's gonna be okay. And I was like, okay. And agreed to let him show me this new thing he was talking about. This is where everything went south. This was the one decision that sucked me up into the portal of poetry that till this day I can still not get out of. So he takes me to this bookshelf that was filled with books and magazines. I was like, reading? Boring. Who likes doing that? He pulls out one of my uncle's magazines, which was like tucked away all the way in the back of the shelf, and hands it to me. I open it, and bro. If you're an anime fan and have seen Full Metal Alchemist, you know that scene where the older elder brother first gets pulled into the gate of knowledge or something and was getting an excessive amount of information crammed into his head in a very short period of time? This was literally me going through this poetry, bro. I was reading every page cover to cover. I was so intrigued by the things I was seeing, like all kinds of poetry. But at the same time, there was this voice in the back of my head telling me that, Jordan, you're not supposed to be reading these poetry pieces. Because I have one of these no around Antillian grandmas. Like, I knew if she caught us reading this poetry, that we would definitely be assassinated by one of her slippers or something. So now me and my cousin were active followers of the poetry movement, but we had to keep it a secret. We had to coordinate the perfect time that my uncle would leave and that my grandma wasn't paying attention to us so we can go and read poetry. And we were pretty good at it actually. for about a week. So there was this one day I came up with the bright idea of cutting out pieces of poetry that we can take home and continue to read, I was like, I'm gonna stash it in my room, and to be honest, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, looking back now, I really thought this was a genius plan, like cut up only the interesting pieces of poetry so my uncle would not notice. So we cut up a bunch of pieces and I pushed my pieces in my pocket. And as usual, my mom would pick me up around 5. So she picks me up, I sat in the back seat, and as I was riding home, I was feeling like I just pulled an Italian job. Like I felt like I like the Asian dude going down through lasers and stuff, like to steal the diamond. Yeah, that's what it felt like, yeah. We get home and my mom parks the car. She was like talking and turns to me and she like makes like she focuses on my pocket and like makes this angry face. I was like, I hope she doesn't see it. And then she goes like, what is that? Mucho Kikisaki. She shoves her hands in my pocket and pulls out the poetry pieces, and then she goes inside. Bro, I stayed outside for about an hour. Like I couldn't move. I was scared to death. So I went into my room and I like avoided my mom like the plague that day. The day after, I got up and saw her, and then she didn't say anything, and till this day we didn't talk about it. So yeah, that's the story.
Need this one, madam. You need this one. Make a took. A passa de encher, cubo arranha som reto, se mami dan. Passo do chico no tinco, trai assina. Tambia, comunique a lambar. Tá pensar e perfar. Comitim com